Under the Speaker's announced policy of January 4th, 2021, the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Grothman, is recognized for 60 minutes as the designee of the Minority Leader.
I think we'll get out of here a little earlier than that, just so good news. Thank you. I would like to talk about several issues which either have not been covered enough lately or not covered in the appropriate way. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the loan forgiveness program and a recent change in the law increasing public loan forgiveness. Whenever I talk to people back home and they say, what is the biggest problem? Well, we certainly have problems with the economy. We certainly have problems with education. We certainly have problems with crime. I say the biggest problem is we're in a moral breakdown in this country. And I'd like to address the way the loan forgiveness program and public loan forgiveness, how it is changing America, I think, for the worse. The first thing I'd like to address is the fact that this institution has apparently felt that you are a lot better off, or you should be much easier to have your loan forgiven if you work for a nonprofit organization or a governmental entity. Now, whenever I go around my district, the manufacturers, the farmers, got a couple big insurance companies, they're all looking for more people to work. But the message out of Washington is, don't work for business, which after all is the engine that really makes our country go around. It shows kind of a hatred for manufacturers, a hatred for agriculture, hatred of retail, hatred of insurance. People living in this building who work with all government employees, their staff is government employees, apparently felt, well, I think those hardworking people in government, they ought to be offered a tremendous benefit that people who don't work for the government don't get. We're going to find a way to forgive the people's loans if they are the nice, noble people who work for government, and if they are somebody who, say, works for a manufacturer, which is so important for the country, well, we don't care about those people. We hate those people. The next message that our loan forgiveness policy is the dislike of people who don't go to college. One of my goals in the legislature, which I think I'm succeeding at a little bit, is educate people about all the good, necessary jobs we have in our country that don't require a 4-year college degree. I think recently the Wall Street Journal pointed out that, I'm told, that if you're a plumber and compare your lifelong earnings to someone who is a general practice doctor, it's about the same. We so desperately need more people in the trades. We so desperately need more people who are skilled in the manufacturing field. But what do we do here? We turn around and put them or their children greater in debt with this loan forgiveness program, or more likely drive up insurance more with the loan forgiveness program that's going to cost over $300 billion a year. And we benefit the people who go to college. We treat the people who don't go to college like dirt. No, you're not getting anything. Inflation is going to go up and hurt you because we've got to give money to the people who went to college. The next bad message that it sends is I think you're discriminating against the hardworking. I ran into somebody recently, heard about somebody who got a nice job out of college, but with pride, he was going to work extra hard and pay off that student loan. So he got a job as an Uber, and he got a job as a bartender. I'm sure between them all he was working well over 60, 65 hours a week, but he was proud to prepay that student loan. And what does the government say to somebody who works especially hard and pays off the student loan? Sucker. We're going to give the same benefit to people who didn't work that second or third job. Again, you're just eating away at the moral fiber of America. The next group is the frugal. I always thought it was wise to be frugal, wise to be debt-free. Pay off that debt before you take out your credit card and, buy a fancier car or buy more furniture, buy a fancy vacation or something. But we look at the people who are frugal and use their frugality to pay off the student loan again. We say, sucker, you shouldn't have paid off your student loan. The government will pay off the student loan for somebody who wasn't as frugal, and we consider you kind of foolish for being frugal. And the final thing I'll point out is that under the proposed forgiveness by President Biden. We give up twice the forgiveness if you originally took out Pell Grants. Now, one of the problems I've talked about Pell Grants in the past is that Pell Grants, it's easier to get a Pell Grant if you are not married, which probably isn't a good thing, but that's the way it is. Now, you already get the benefit for not being married and getting the Pell Grant in the first place. Now we double the amount of loan forgiveness if you wind up originally getting this additional boost in the Pell Grant. So again, sending the wrong message to people, in addition to the fact that it's another $360 billion, another $360 billion log on the fire of inflation, and then people pretend that they don't know where inflation came from. But when the Treasury is spending $360 billion, that's where the inflation came from. The next thing I'm going to address